Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me. It's Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. So to start with, it's Wednesday. I hope everybody's getting along well in their week. It is Discord day, so right after the markets close is Greg's Live, and after that we'll have our Discord on the hour about 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. If you would like to join us, there's a link in the description. You can either just listen in, join the chat, or join in fully in the discussion. We'd love to have you there. Thank you kindly. So let's move on. We've got quite a bit to go over today. So looking at markets, we're heading deeper into the greed territory, I'm going to call it. Basically, fear greed index going even more green. We've got the relative risk indicator is pulling back a bit. Now, what's happened with this? The 10-year yield dropped, but the dollar took quite a hit yesterday. And there's a couple of things that were contributing to that. So we've got cryptocurrencies that are well above that 62,000 level for Bitcoin, up to 65. I'm looking for that, should pull back a bit, retest that 62,000 level. If we're fortunate that we'll get another buy opportunity at that level. Now, there is more news with Mt. Gox selling more. They've got more on the exchanges ready to go. But a lot of the Bitcoin is showing on the Glassnode site, basically, that there are a lot of buyers waiting in the wings, so to speak, at these levels. So there's a lot of support there, even if they do sell into it. I think it will get put up. This is not financial advice, only what we're seeing in the on-chain metrics of the data. Okay, so with this, also want to bring up gold. Gold hit an all-time high, and the dollar, of course, we're talking about is the weakest it's been in some time, dropped all the way down to 103.77. So with this, Asian European markets prior to the open are on the weak side. So we've got some things going on with that as well. And the markets right now are still in green showing buying, but the futures are not in agreement today. So basically what it is kind of indicating is that there's still a bit of rally on the open. Watch for that. The first hours typically when the most volume hits until the end of the day. So going green into the markets, then it should probably level off and go into a bit of, I wouldn't say correction. I don't expect it to be extreme unless things happen. So keep an eye on the risk indicator if you are trading, and I know you're going to be watching that 10-year yield specifically. So the sentiment right now, we've got basically small caps have been very strong. They've made quite the run. They've still got a bit more that they could go. This is what we're going to call the Trump trade, because the markets are now pricing him in for a win on several fronts. The first is that cryptocurrency, because he's positive for that space. Secondly, he's positive for the markets in general. That is also why Asian markets took a bit of a hit, because he's talking about tariffs. So with all of this going on, I was speaking before about how the Fed is affecting interest rates without actually hiking or cutting. And we can see this in the real markets, the mortgage rates falling to the lowest level since early March, now well below that 7%. Now, this is guided a lot by what they come out and say when they have their speeches. Very important to listen to that, but also the overall direction that things are heading into a deflationary phase other than the stock market. So with our calendar, we're looking at housing starts, building permits prior to the market to open this morning. So that's going to kind of be a predecessor for the rest of the economy. We've got Fed presidents coming out afterwards speaking, Barkin, and then also Waller a little bit later today, and the Fed Beige Book at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So Thursday morning, I've got this up because we've got huge data coming. They're supposed to be looking at now jobless, the job market. So jobless claims coming in prior to market open, then also manufacturing and some other indicators. And then, of course, more Fed speakers, Logan, Daly, and Bowman speaking tomorrow. So we've also got the earnings calendar up because we are starting into a larger earnings season. So today, yesterday we had banks. They actually did quite well in the larger picture. So this is with the new methods of calculating their earnings that they can do mark to market, basically counting in future earnings that they have not made. So we've got Crown Castle, Alcoa. We'll be watching those for the industrials and several of these in here today. More banks, ASML, TSMC prior to market open Thursday. That one is significant. They just took a hit this morning. And part of that is also due to some comments by the former president. So, moving into what's going on of note, we had the dollar tumbling to the weakest level. So, one of the factors in this is the Japanese intervention for the yen. They've been buying to basically strengthen their currency. You can see this in the differentials in the currency market. So, something else very suspicious going on. As we've been watching what's been going on with Ukraine and all of the infighting, arguing, basically between the EU as to whether they can use frozen Russian assets to transfer to Ukraine. So if they can't do your dirty work out in the front, what do? You get somebody else to do it. So Japan is going to be used to transfer billions of this frozen Russian money to Ukraine. So I think it looks very suspicious for a possible back dealing if Japan was warned against being labeled a currency manipulator. So if you're labeled as a currency manipulator, your trade goes down. You're basically not trusted across the markets. So looks very suspicious that all of a sudden this is being pushed under the table, so to speak, and they're being chosen as the ones that have to do the dirty work. You can add these together in your own mind. So going more into Bitcoin, self-custody coming to the masses with the new crypto ring. So I find this interesting. What they've done is the company, they have incorporated basically a hardware wallet, and rather than going the chips direction that a lot of others are going, they're incorporating this into a ring you can wear. Still got safety, but you can take your hard wallet with you and do day-to-day trading. So with this, they're trying to increase the adoption of self-custody and then also transactions to bring the use case to it. I think this is very positive rather than the alternate direction of scanning your biometrics and making it use either your retina, your right eye, or scanning your right hand. We know that's also kind of biblical. So tying this into something else, and also with the free money that they cannot really manipulate too much. They're manipulating it like they are precious metals through the derivatives, but it's much more different venue. So with this, we know that the space is going to continue. We've got tokenization happening as we speak. Now they've already started tokenizing the treasuries for the trades. Now they are beginning with the stock market. So they've got from MicroStrategy to GameStop. They are now doing equities. This is a firm, they're calling it RWA, Real World Assets. And they've launched a new tokenization. Basically, this is going to expand just a way to trade them on blockchain. So look forward to this. We've got more about NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Google as they're leading the artificial intelligence boom. Taiwan's chief telecom president calling for entirely new data center infrastructure. We've been talking about this here for some time. As artificial intelligence is growing, blockchain is growing, all of this needs not just more processing, they're talking about the energy, but the computers themselves to house these, to decentralize. There's got to be multiples co-located in case one of them goes down. So more of these going to be needed, more mining, more infrastructure for this new system that is coming out. Now, they're building this not just for the offline, but also for the CBDCs that are expected to come online. So this is all part of the larger system as well. We've got Elon Musk saying that he's moving X, formerly known as Twitter, and SpaceX, the headquarters, moving to Texas. Well, this is because Texas is much more friendly to business than California. There's a lot of other things going on here, the taxation, business not being friendly. New York is another one that is cranking down on businesses and watching an exodus. So this is kind of a different version of free market at work, if you will. So moving over to the former president or the presidential hopeful, basically, they're already pricing him in as this. They're talking about what he's going to do with taxes, tariffs, the Fed. So all of these discussions now taking place. The market has priced him in, cryptocurrency pricing him in with what has happened recently. It's going to be tough to, it's going to take a lot more than miscounts to take him down this time. So we've got the United States receiving intel of Iranian plot to assassinate him. Shouldn't use that word. Probably get this video banned. Anyway, so there was word. The key is that it came from this country. They vehemently denied this. So they came out with this, that are prompting for more securities officials with warnings about this. And they came out very strongly to deny this, basically trying to pin this on the country, because that opens up possibilities of taking action against them if that was the case. So moving off of this, what's going on in reality behind this is that this country is ready to meet the new energy demands for this new block that's coming up. So they're going to need a tremendous amount of energy as well. They have stepped up with their reserves, not just oil, but also natural gas. So the price in that has come down recently. It's kind of at an interesting point as far as the charts. It's got a bit of support here, could break down further, but they're stepping up to basically bolster this. So looking forward to them having strength in this area. It's going to get very interesting from here until November, to say the slightest. So I hope to see you all in Discord later. And if you have any questions or anything you would like to talk about, put them in the comments. Thank you all kind of for being here. We'll get this video out. And until I see you again, my friends, of course, do your best. Stay free.